BookTuber Tag. I can't believe we're here. End of the year, like we are in December 2020. Who knew? I didn't think we'd make it. I mean, I feel like I'm losing my mind. And that's got to be a theme for all of my booktuber videos thus far, because I think I started this channel earlier this year, like at the peak of COVID. So I hope you're doing okay. I hope we're making the best of the holidays. I know I am. I am going full force, just Christmas everywhere. So just trying to bring a little joy and also shoving Christmas in everyone's faces as much as I can, because I know that there's like so much going on in the world that maybe among the tragedy and the chaos and the stress that a lot of people don't have the time to focus on little Christmassy things. And sometimes it's like the little things that count. So I just, I try to spread a little Christmas cheer here or there to help me get through the end of the year. I feel like we're at the tail end of all of this chaos. And I feel like we are all in this together, and it's been kind of a crazy journey, with this channel and acclimating to different time and work schedules and, trying to do a lot of self-care. And what's kind of cool about 2020, although like my reading list is nowhere near as huge as a lot of these other booktubers, I feel like I still read so much more this year. Which was one of my biggest goals, was to get back into it. Not only did I publish my first book in 3 years, but I read at least a couple books a month. Like, whoa, that is huge for me, guys. Like, I have not been back into it in so long. And so this booktuber tag felt really fitting, because it almost feels like a reward for myself, like an end of the year booktuber tag, because I can actually do it. I read consistently throughout this year, and I'm actually even more excited about the possibility of 2021, because hello, things will hopefully go back to normal soon, and we can even go to book events together, and I can do signing events, and I can just do more. I feel like although we've all probably done the best that we can with the time, I just imagine all the things I could have done, energy wise. I think self-care was key this year. We're stuck inside, and your productivity is not your self-worth. I keep tooting this horn, but your productivity is not your self-worth. And I fall victim to that a lot too. So I go through bouts of like extreme productivity, extreme reading, and then I kind of hunker down. So as we kind of make it through the end of this year, let's dive into the end of the year booktuber tag, right? Whoo, gosh, what are your guys? It also was like a good year for books. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is my first year getting back into it, so I kind of have no comparison other than like what my bookish life was a few years ago. So I felt really lucky to read a lot of really good books and a lot of diverse books. There was a lot happening this year, from politics to Black Lives Matter, that really brought a shining, much needed light on diverse literature. So I read a lot of queer romances, which you'll see end up making my top list. And there's also, we're supporting, people of color authors. Like why haven't we been doing this all along? So I just feel like we really were able to this year shine a light on many amazing authors that deserve it. And I'm excited to be a reader right now. I think that there's a lot that came out this year that is coming out next year. I'm trying to be positive. I think there's a lot of negativity out there, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling that the trajectory that we're going is good. Okay, I get it. I'm rambling. I haven't even made it into question 1 yet, but I'm diving in now. The first question for the end of the year booktuber tag is, are there any books that you started this year and need to finish? As much as I read this year, there have been quite a few that I picked up and then put down and then picked up and put down. Books that kind of dragged from my 2019 into my 2020, but it is what it is. And a book doesn't really, in my opinion, go out of style just because it's been out for a year or so. So yes, there are books that I need to finish that I haven't. And I think this book has appeared on my booktuber tags since June, which is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I will say though that I did pick this book back up about a month ago, and I'm about halfway through. I've been toggling between my Kindle and my hardback version, and I am really loving this book. I'm getting back into it, and I'm loving it. So I feel like I broke away from the audiobook and having a really good time re-diving back into this. So it's been on my TBR for over a year. The book's been out for well over a year. But this is one that I started this year that I need to finish. Another one that I remember just like jetting out to get is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Another book that I really, really enjoyed. And it's just one of those really guilty ones that I haven't picked up yet. And, yikes, like I want to read it. They're both like really hefty. I feel like they're both like super hefty novels, but these are two that I just have not yet finished. But I'm actually like working on this nightly, like cross my heart, I hope to die. Like I am reading this one right now. The reason why I didn't finish these books is because I genre hopped so much, really toggling between like all other genres and then into romance and then going back and then going forth. I have ADD when it comes to reading, apparently. I can't be alone in my lack of focus and the building of my TBR. Those are the two books that I will mention that I started this year. There's a couple more, but those are the ones that really hit me hard. I need to finish. I feel guilty about it, okay? I feel guilty about it. I'm ashamed, if you must know, and I'm gonna be better. I promise. Question 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of this year? I thought this question was worded so strangely. It's like, do you have a seasonal book to transition into like winter? I guess I get that. I just thought like I had to read this question for being like a smart person. I felt so dumb reading this question. Anyways, yes, I do. Have I started it yet? No, but it's In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. It's so funny, I started posting about this on my Instagram, and then I had friends texting me saying, oh my god, I love this book, and I was like, oh, I haven't read it yet. And they're like, what? I started reading it because you posted about it. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. But this was when it came out, I think early October. I wasn't ready to commit to like a Christmas novel. So I put this down, and now I'm ready to pick it back up. I will probably be picking it up this week. It's like I think like a Groundhog Day time jump type of romance. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And honestly, there's not like a Christina Lauren book that I don't like. Like even, I mean, I'll rank them. There's definitely like, I have favorites, and then I have some that I just weren't, but it's never a bad time. I did also read The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren this year, and I really liked that. I think there was some mixed reviews on it, but it was one of those books that kind of started me out of my reading hump. So anyways, I digress. I'm excited to read this this year. Is there new releases you are waiting for? Is there new releases I'm waiting for? Yeah. There's, again, like, what I love about like books is just that they just keep coming. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. And authors are just blowing my minds left and right. I actually had to like write this list down. One book I'm always looking forward to, the next Colleen Hoover book. So Layla comes out actually December. Ooh. Today? This Tuesday? I don't know. It's this week. Layla by Colleen Hoover comes out this week. Another one is The Wrong Family by Taryn Fisher also comes out this month, which is really exciting. She came out with The Wives earlier this year, and everyone was loving that. So I'm curious to see what she'll have for us this year in another sort of thriller novel. Another book I'm looking forward to is Every Last Secret by A. Arthur, another author you can just never go wrong with. She's always coming out with bangers. This is sort of a little bit of a creepy thriller, romantic-esque. You know, she always gives those kind of dark romances about a couple that moves in next door, and the woman sort of has eyes on her husband. And I don't know, I got good vibes from this one. So that one's another one I'm looking forward to. Another one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I loved Beach Read, and that was my first time reading an Emily Henry book. I'm not sure if that was her debut or not, but I was excited to see that she was coming out with another book in 2021. So excited to read that one. It sounded really, really cute. And the next one is, you know I read a lot of romance, but is Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm a huge Andy Weir fan, and you will know him from, he wrote The Martian, he wrote Artemis. The Martian was made into a huge movie with Matt Damon, blah, blah, blah. So he's coming out with another book, and I just really enjoy his like space thrillers. Apparently this book is about the world is going to end, and the guy who meets the guy who has to save the world can't remember who he is, let alone how to save the world, and he's got to do this from space. That's all I know from the description, but it seems all sorts of awesome, and I think that comes out spring of next year. So that's a fantasy sort of space age thriller that I'm looking forward to. Another one is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, which is like a West African fantasy, and the cover is just gorgeous. And I've never read a book like this, but I'm really excited about all the great like cultural touches that are going to be in this book. I read like sort of a short blurb, but it was like, you know, when her blood runs gold, you know, she's kind of sees that they to be a fraud essentially in her family, and it's about her journey. And it's set in this fantasy world. I don't know. I'm just very intrigued by this setting, and I've never read anything by this author, and it's just, it looks good, sounds good, reads good. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Another one I'm really looking forward to is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. She also wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, which was one of my favorite books of the year. I'm really loving this clever, romantic, swoony romance, queer romances that she's writing. And this one is about a girl who doesn't believe in sort of the perfect romance, love at first sight sort of vibe until she meets this girl on a train, and everything changes. That's kind of all I know, but I'm already curious and I'm already looking forward to it. I just enjoyed her style of writing so much. It had me giggling and swooning, and I'm excited to see what comes next from her. Another book that I'm excited for is If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. She's the author of Dumplin', and I am just totally for this. It is a body positive retelling of Cinderella, and hello, I am here for it. And she's super funny. I follow her on Instagram. She's one of like my favorite people to follow, just because she's full of like a lot of hilarious wit and a lot of like in your face truth. So next question, what are the books you want to read before the end of the year? Just like, I mean, there's a few that I want to read, but I am gonna, I don't want to pressure myself because it's the end of the year and there's a pandemic going on, and I just feel like if I put too many books on my plate, my body's just going to rebel and be like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do. Well, I'm going to make one goal, and it's to finish Ninth House, because I just think that this deserves the finish, and I'm so close, like I'm so invested in it, that this is the book that I really, really, really would like to finish by the end of the year. And it would be also really great if I could finish Holidays by Christina Lauren, but I'm gonna put all my money on this one. I would love to know what you thought about this book. I feel like that you either love it or you hate it, so tell me your thoughts. Is there anything I should watch out for? I'm about halfway through. Let me know. Next question, is there a book that could still shock you and be your favorite before the end of the year? You know, it's been really hard to pick a favorite of the year. I really enjoyed recently, it's like the freshest book I just finished, which is Tramp by Mary Elizabeth. She's another one of those authors very similar to me, came out with a book for the first time in like a few years, and I was so happily surprised. Like, it was a romance novel I could not put down. It was just written super sharply about a really powerhouse of a woman who's sort of a high-end escort, and she fortuitously meets this guy, and it's a big hot mess, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with him, but he, you know, wants her, and she's fighting her past and all this sort of stuff, and it just was really, really well written. So that was kind of one of my top reads. Another one that has to be my top reads is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, and I just loved this book so much. It was another book that like just is written so well that sometimes, like, when I read books, I go, gosh, I want to write like that. This was one of them. It was just so clever. The story was so tight and good and great and just swoony. And yeah, so what's gonna beat those two for me is, it's really hard to say. I think the only book that, like, I mean, is Ninth House. Like, let's go right to the point here. It's Ninth House. I have a feeling that I'm going to finish this book. I heard it's like kind of a cliffhanger, but I think that there's a high probability that this will make my favorites list by the time I finish this before the end of the month. I got a hunch. It's got like all of the ingredients that I love about books, and it's also just written again. So beautifully. I'm obsessed. So I need to finish, need to focus, but that's kind of where that's at. Next question. Have I already been making plans, have I already been making reading plans for 2021? Like specific plans? No, not necessarily, but yes, kind of. It is, you know, read more, review more, be more consistent. Those are the things I can only wish for when it comes to 2021. I don't know. I'm hoping that I'll be taking books everywhere I go. I'm writing more, and I just feel like the best way to become a better writer is to read. So right now, all I can hope for in 2021, among all the great and fantastic books that are coming out, is to be consistent and read. Read more, read and review and write and just do all the things, you know. Read more, read consistently, and review more. And gosh, I would love to write more. So I would love to come out with a couple novels next year, and I'm on the cusp of finishing a couple. So yeah, so those are like my big plans. I hate to keep them vague, but vague works for me. And that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah. What were your, you know, at the end of this, you know, what were your top reads for 2020? Did you read ton more than you did the year previously because, you know, pandemic problems? Or was this a year that like you couldn't put your head in a book because life was so stressful? I feel like I have a lot of friends who are on either side of this. They either read an overwhelming amount or just couldn't put their heads in books because their heads were someplace else. And that's perfectly okay. You know, where were you at on the spectrum of this pandemic, and where was your head at? You know, I feel like I'm more on the like reading more because I had more time at home. I tend to just sort of run around all the time. But I feel like I read more. This was a good jumping off point for me to get back into it. And although, you know, the pandemic had a lot of really awful moments, at least for me personally, and, you know, we're still getting through a lot of stuff for me in a personal sense and a family sense, and I know a lot of other people are experiencing similar things as well. You know, I did feel like this year did allow me to focus more on me. You know, I was home more, I was seeing less friends, and coupled with that is reading more. I felt like I had more time, and reading feels like an element of self-care, and I'm such a proponent of self-care. I just started to realize early on this year that reading made me feel good. It just made me feel so good. So it was such a positive of my 2020, and at this point we got to take all the positives that we can get, right? So I think that's even a positive note to leave this on. So if you like this video and you want to see more, or you want, let me know actually if what you would like to see. Comment below what you'd like me to see or any books you would like me to review. But you know, this might be my last video of the year. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it goes. But I just want to say thank you for you. I know that I haven't been as active on this channel. I come out with a video like maybe every other month. But I just want to say that I think you're amazing, and I appreciate you so much watching these videos. I'm going to tag some booktubers in the comments, and hopefully they reciprocate, so keep an eye out for that as well and go watch their videos. You know, I just want to say thanks for watching. You're beautiful and amazing, and we made it. We're making it through 2020, and we're gonna have an even greater 2021. I can feel it. I feel it. Everything will go back to normal in good time. But in the meantime, please be safe, stay home, wash your hands, take care of yourself, call your mom, ask your friends how they're doing, give them their space, just listen. Do whatever it is that they need from you to survive, and you too. Don't forget about you. You are important. All right, I think I'm rambling enough. So if you like this video, please like it. That really, really helps me. And if you definitely like this video and you like watching me review books and shit, please subscribe. I would love to see you on the next one. And yeah, gosh, how much did I ramble? Did I ramble too much? I feel like I rambled too much. I talk too much and I'm not focused. Okay, that being said, see you in the next one.